What's up, everyone? It's Brian again. Today we're talking about open houses. And while I do have videos on open houses that I very much recommend that you do watch, in this video, we're going to be going over specifically mechanically how to use open houses to generate leads. Keep in mind the whole point of open houses is not just to generate leads. There are a lot of benefits, again, in the other videos, wherever you can find them. But for this video specifically, we're talking about mechanically what you should be doing and how to generate leads from your open houses. So before we have an open house, you need to find one. We're going to assume this isn't your listing because how to market your listings is going to be a little bit more intense. So in this case, it's not your listing. You need to find an open house. I recommend on Monday or Tuesdays, you go down the list and look up ideally EXP listings. If not EXP listings, then brokerages that cooperate. Some brokerages will not allow other brokerages to host their open houses. And vacant listings are going to be easier to host than occupied listings. Okay. So ideally EXP, ideally vacant. Send a text message to all of their listing agents. Just something simple. Hey, this is Brian. I'm looking for an open house to host this weekend. Is your listing available? Don't put the listing address in. It might be a pain in the butt for you to circle back and figure out which one you're talking about later. But again, just bulk. Don't concern yourself too much about what happens if I accidentally get 3 or 5 or 12 open houses. Worst case, if you get too many, pawn them off to other EXP agents, either in our group here or with the county. Either way, the county group. We will find coverage for every open house. Don't worry about finding too many. Once you get the open house, we now have our first mission, which is to advertise the open house. If you don't get word out about the open house, no one will come. So step one, make sure the listing agent puts onto the MLS when the open house is. That's going to let Realtor.com and Zillow and similar stuff all know where it is. That's going to be where a significant portion of your traffic comes from. So make sure it's on the MLS. Then you want to take a couple minutes and get flyers out to all the neighbors, right? Buyers walking in the house are great. Sellers walking into the house is a listing. You want sellers. This is like 50% of your reason for doing the open house is to get these two houses and see if you can get a listing out of it. Okay. So you can make these in the EXP Enterprise Workplace place, right? Or if you make a custom one, whatever. But you want to do this on some good paper and really make sure that you're leaving a good first impression that you do a good job. No typos, no weird stuff. Make sure it looks good. Okay. I recommend doing around 100. You can always do more. You can always do less. 100 seems to be about the right amount for me to feel comfortable walking around and giving them out before the open house. Day of the open house. We want to slow everyone down at the house, right? But we also want to get people in. So step one, we want our open house signs. And now I'm not talking like 2. I'm not talking 3. I'm talking like 20, 30. Get them cheap from Home Depot if you can, just a stack of them. Even if they're not branded, oh well, technically they're all supposed to be branded, but no one really gets in trouble for that. I would rather have you have the branded ones, as many as you can, but if you can buy 1,000 of them for 10 cents at Home Depot, do it. Buy a ton, okay? We want that at minimum from the one nearest on-ramp, off-ramp to the listing, as many turns as that is. At maximum, probably the 3 nearest on-ramps and off-ramps, okay? So we want a ton of directional signs because a lot of people are going to see the sign and just want to swing by. Lots and lots of signs. You cannot do too many signs. When it comes to signs, it's windy. Out here, it's always windy. Your signs are going to blow over, okay? Do what you can to get a sturdy sign that's not going to blow over in the wind. Even if it costs a little bit of extra money, it's better to have a sign that doesn't blow over because while they're flat and in the bushes, they're not doing anything, okay? But a ton of directional signs leading to your listing. Now that we've let the neighbors know, we've got the directional signs. We're going to post on Facebook, all that kind of fun stuff, invite as many people as we can. We want to get people, now we're getting people in, now we want them to slow down because most people walking through the open house are going to go in, hello, goodbye, and leave, okay? We want to do everything we can to make people slow down and enjoy the house. If they enjoy the house, they're more likely to write offers, they're more likely to talk with you. And what we don't want is when they come in, you to be like, hi, do you want to buy a house? This is a little bit too intense. It's what most agents do. You can do a sign-in sheet. I found that most people that put the sign-in sheet that don't say hi, they don't really want anything from you. You can put them in a drip campaign and try. I haven't really had luck. Most of the people that I've worked with at open houses are going to volunteer. They're going to want to because they think you're friendly, because they're nice, and they're going to opt in as a person, right? Not because they filled out your sheet. Now, it is still good to have a sign-in sheet because then you can have some accountability and know who was in and take some numbers. But there's a lot of debate over whether you should have a sign-in sheet, whether you shouldn't have a sign-in sheet, or whether you should have a digital one people can type into. Again, most leads I've found are going to talk to you and want to work with you. They're not going to be because you emailed them with a sign-in sheet for the most part. So what we want to do at the open house is we want everyone to slow down and enjoy the home. How do we make them do that? Well, for me, number one, Starbucks. If we're in the wintertime, we're going to get one of the big Starbucks jugs. It costs like 20 or 30 bucks. And that will last the entire day. And if we can get people to slow down, pour some coffee, say hi, they're slowed down and we can talk to them. Same with cookies. I try to always put out some cookies at the front, or if you have something else that you can offer, whatever it is, we want to slow them down, make them stop. I usually hang out in the kitchen because it's kind of like the center of the home in most homes. So while I'm sitting there in the kitchen, hanging out, doing whatever, people are going to be coming by and getting coffee and getting cookies and playing with their kids and hanging out. And that's the best time to bother them, not while they're moving. Okay. Other things you can do to slow people down is going to be to have, you can get these little display things from Staples. Let's see if I put it right in front of my body. So this is actually from the EXP Enterprise Workplace thingy. And you can put these little guys all over the house, all kinds of different rooms. I'll do like the buying process. I'll also put up some similar homes that are on the market, right? Something like this. Maybe I'll print out the latest market data and put that on a counter. Whatever it takes to kind of get people to, again, stop, slow down, look at it, and ask questions. We want them asking questions. We want them engaging, right? We want them to talk to us. So the more stuff we can put around the house, especially on like kitchen counters, anywhere else that's kind of like, oh, look at the room, there's a thing in the middle, whatever it takes to slow people down while they're going through the house, okay? Past that, we're going to really emphasize that people want to work with their friends. They don't want to be sold. They want to work with friends. So when people are walking through, it's not, hey, do you want to buy a house? Hey, do you want to buy a house? Hey, do you want to buy a house? It's, oh, your kids are adorable. How old are they? Mine's 3, right? Oh my gosh, I love this house. By the way, did you see this really cool feature? Like gold mine, if you have a house with a cool feature that's not obvious, like we had one where like you pull out this cabinet and it's like a fridge that was like in the island, super cool. It's like, oh, by the way, check out this thing. Anything you can to kind of like, isn't this cool? Isn't this exciting? And kind of pass your joy and excitement onto the client. Okay. Now, as they kind of work with you, I'm like, oh, you're a cool guy, lady. You seem honest. You seem great. Let's proceed with you. Now you've got the lead. Now you can get their information. So it's all about slowing them down and getting their info and getting the marketing out there, right? Another really cool thing that I really like, there's a thing called Link, L-I-N-Q. It gives you digital cards. They have one of these guys, and basically what this is if someone taps it, it gives them all of your info on their phone, or they can scan it, get all of your information too. I found a lot of people are awkward and don't want to talk to me, or maybe I'm busy, but they will scan something like this or tap something like this. Kind of similar to the handouts. You can always do like a QR code too. But again, the goals at an open house, it is to get leads, obviously, right? But don't look at it as getting leads. Look at it as what are the best ways I can get people, first of all, into the home, and then second of all, to slow down and enjoy the home and feel brave enough to talk to me because we've slowed them down enough. Okay. So if you guys have any more questions about open houses, let me know. But that is more or less how I do my open houses and what works for me. Put down your comments down below about what you think and what you do. And if you have any other ideas for, making this all work, talk to you guys soon.